Alright guys, I'm going to give you a little insight to my hobbies and my greatest passions. So I'm going to take you in my garage / shop. So of course, you already know about the motorcycle. And some woodworking. You've probably seen that. There's my latest little project. And then, but one thing sort of overwhelms everything else. That old T28 is pretty much used for parts now, but it still flies. Gotta put a prop, and the motor actually works really well in it. Sometimes if I haven't flown in a while, I'll take it up. But that's my favorite baby right there. She's got retractable landing gear, 40 degrees of flaps, all kinds of things you can do with it. And I got some super fast flyers over here on the wall. So aviation is the one thing that kind of overwhelms everything in here, much to my wife's dismay. But that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to get on the motorcycle. I'm going to talk about my love of aviation and the next thing I would like to get into.
Here we go, baby.
Alright guys, Iron Horse Musings here, back on the motorcycle and with my wife.
Hey!
And so as you could probably tell from that intro, today's talk is going to be about aviation and all things aviation. And before I forget, I got a new camera, so hopefully you're seeing the view from a new GoPro. Still using my Sena, if you can see it there on the handlebars. So maybe I could get a couple of different views in here for this vlog, and hopefully the GoPro, the image is a little bit better with the 60 frames per second versus the 30 with the Sena. So anyways, getting back to aviation, for me it all started with my grandfather. He's probably been the biggest influence of my life, bar anyone else. And he started teaching me how to fly. He had a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. This is back in the 1970s, and he started teaching me how to fly, sometimes my little brother as well, before I could even see out the window. By the time I could see out the window, he let me have the controls a whole lot more. And then in high school, I went to a flying school. I got my private pilot's license, and he was the very first one I took up. He was a navigator on B-24s during World War II, and I just always looked up to him in everything he did, whether it was work, business, flying especially. I always wanted to do that. So after I got I went to college for a year after high school, and didn't have any more money for that, joined the Navy. And then after I got out of the Navy, I had a gentleman come from a school in Oklahoma to be an airline transport pilot. So sold our house at the time, moved out to Oklahoma, and was going to school there for 6 months, but I was using all the money from the house to pay for the school, and I was told VA benefits would cover it. Make a long story short, they didn't. I ended up having to leave the school, come back. I had to go through some legal situations with the school. I ended up getting my tuition back, but by the time you pay with lawyers and stuff. Anyways, that made left a bad taste in me for flying again, so I kind of got out of it. Several years later, got back into RC flying, and those were the planes you saw in the garage and stuff. And in 2007, I got remarried. My wife knew how much I was flying, and she ended up getting me a ride in Florida on an AT-6 World War II trainer plane. That was just incredible, and that really brought back missing flying. And so almost since then, I've been thinking of getting back into flying and stuff, but it's so expensive now. I mean, when I rented airplanes back in the 1980s. They were $30 an hour wet, meaning with fuel, and now they're close to $200 for most places just to rent the same type of planes, and that's just a little too rich for my blood. So then fast forward to just a couple years ago, we went to visit my daughter out in California, my oldest daughter, and we went out to watch some paragliders and hang gliders at Torrey Pines. And a gentleman that was sitting with us said, "Well, why don't you go do it? You could take a tandem ride." And I hemmed and hawed and didn't think I was going to do it. And then I watched a couple people, and they talked me into doing it. And it was like one of the...
his daughter.
What's that?
I said, they being me and his daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, they pushed me into doing it. And then after I do it, I'm like, you guys have to do this. So all three of us ended up taking a paragliding ride off the cliffs at Torrey Pines, and it was absolutely amazing. So then I really wanted to get into paragliding, and I came back to North Carolina looking at schools and stuff to do that. And just to do it anywhere, there is a place in the mountains here, but it's about 2.5, 3 hours from me. So anytime I'd want to do that, the winds would have to be just coming out of the perfect direction and just right, and then you'd have to ride up there and come back. So it just didn't seem like spending the money for that was going to be real feasible. And then more recently, I started looking into paramotoring. And I haven't found anybody real close by that does it, so I'd have to go to school to learn it somewhere else. But the schools for this are like only about 2 weeks long. They're not real long at all. Sorry if that's too much wind noise. I gotta get some more air coming in. It's getting pretty warm here. So that's my latest thing, and I have been just immersing myself in paramotor videos, watching Woody's Gamer Tag and Tucker Gott's Aviator PPG. So I've actually signed up for Aviator PPG's wait list. And then they've also recommended talking to some of their affiliates if I want to do it earlier. But I'd like to save up some money first and get into that. So paramotoring may become my latest vice. All right, guys, and with this paramotoring, it's something I'm so interested and passionate about right now, I'd even consider selling my motorcycle. Yeah, I shouldn't say that in front of my wife. But I'm hoping I don't have to do that. But if I do, just to be able to do it and get back into flying, and that's something I'd be willing to do, because flying is definitely my first love. This riding fills it a little bit, but it doesn't quite match up to the thrill of flying. Just imagine being able to take off right here, right now, and being able to see everything around you. So that's pretty much everything with the flying for me. Let me know what you think. Put something in the comments below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, notify, and feel free to let me know what you think. Talk to you guys later. Take care.
Bye-bye.